Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're jumping into some research that kind of flips a common idea on its head.
Yeah, the idea that, playing with RC cars and trucks is basically just sitting around.
Exactly. So our mission today is to actually quantify the physical activity. We're talking calories burned, step counts, the whole thing for different RC hobbies.
And some of the findings are, well, pretty eye-opening, especially at the more active end.
Right. But first, to compare things fairly, we need a standard measure, don't we?
We do. And that's the metabolic equivalent of task, or MET for short.
METs. Okay.
Think of one MET as your body's energy use, just, resting quietly.
Like sitting on the couch?
Precisely. And this lets us group activities. So light intensity is under 3.0 METs. Moderate is 3.0 up to 6.0.
Then vigorous.
Vigorous is anything over 6.0 METs. And just so everyone knows, all our numbers today assume a standard 70-kilogram person.
Got it. Okay, let's unpack this then. The research breaks RC activity down, starting, maybe surprisingly, at the workbench, the builder.
Right, the builder. This is someone assembling an RC kit. Sitting, working with small parts, fine motor skills.
This definitely seems sedentary.
Well, here's the first interesting bit. It's assigned 1.8 METs. That's like doing light arts and crafts, maybe some weaving.
1.8 METs. Wait, you said sedentary is below 1.5.
Exactly. So even just carefully assembling a kit, you're technically above the strictly sedentary level.
Huh. So you're burning a bit more than just zoning out watching TV.
You are. Now, the hourly calorie burn isn't huge, maybe 126 calories an hour.
Okay.
But think about a complex kit build. If you spend, say, 12 hours on it, the meticulous artisan scenario.
Yeah, some kits take ages.
Right, that adds up to over 1,500 calories burned in total.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
Just from building, that's actually pretty significant before the RC even hits the dirt.
Absolutely. But okay, let's move from the bench to something more dynamic. The basher.
Ah, the basher. So this is like parking lots, dirt patches, going fast, big jumps, probably crashing a lot.
That's the one. Fast, aggressive, non-competitive driving. And here's where it gets really interesting from a physiological standpoint.
How so?
Because you inevitably have to walk, maybe even run, to flip your car back over or retrieve it after a crash.
Right, the walk of shame.
Yeah. Well, that pattern actually mimics unscheduled high-intensity interval training. HIIT.
HIT, like a workout. So bashing is accidental exercise.
Pretty much. We modeled a typical 30-minute bashing session. It breaks down to maybe 60% of the time standing relatively still, controlling the car.
Okay.
Then maybe 30% walking around, repositioning, looking for the car.
And the last 10%.
That's the key bit. Short bursts of jogging or running to get to the car quickly.
Right.
That half-hour session, it burns about 104 calories and gets you around 9,350 steps.
Not bad for 30 minutes of fun.
And get this, that mere 10% of jogging, just 3 minutes, accounts for nearly a quarter of the total calories burned. It shows that interval effect is real.
Okay, so bashing is like surprise interval training. But then there's the crawler, right? That seems like the main event for activity.
Oh, yeah, the crawler. This is where we see potentially vigorous activity. We're talking about trail-based RC crawling.
Following your little truck up hills and over rocks.
Exactly. And functionally, this is basically indistinguishable from hiking. You're constantly walking, sometimes scrambling, keeping pace with the vehicle over uneven terrain.
So what kind of ME value does that get?
We assigned a typical 3-hour trail session a value of 6.0 METs. That puts it right at the bottom edge of vigorous intensity.
Vigorous. Okay. And the numbers for a 3-hour session?
They're pretty substantial. You're looking at around 1,323 calories burned.
Whoa.
And wait for it. Over 25,000 steps.
25,000 steps in 3 hours. That's huge.
It is. In fact, that single 3-hour crawling session exceeds the standard public health guideline for weekly aerobic exercise. The 150 minutes of moderate activity.
Just one afternoon of crawling covers your whole week's recommendation.
Essentially, yes. It's a serious workout hiding in plain sight as a hobby.
Okay, so let's boil this down for everyone listening. What's the takeaway per hour?
If we compare them side by side per hour, kit building is about 126 calories, 0 steps, obviously.
Right.
Bashing averages out to maybe 208 calories and 2,700 steps per hour.
Still decent.
But then trail crawling just blows them away. 441 calories and a massive 8,400 steps every hour.
That really puts crawling in a different league. Almost like dedicated exercise.
It really is. So, practically speaking, if you're health conscious and using fitness apps,
Yeah,
you should absolutely log your crawling time as hiking and maybe log bashing sessions as interval training to get accurate credit for the work you're doing.
that makes total sense. You're actually doing the work.
Exactly.
Okay, and maybe one final thought for you to chew on. Think about crawling.
Mm.
That intense focus, the problem solving on the trail, navigating tricky lines.
Yeah, it's very engaging, almost meditative sometimes.
Right. That cognitive engagement, that sort of Zen-like focus, it might actually reduce how hard you feel like you're working.
That's an interesting point. Your perceived exertion might be lower than the actual physical output.
Which could mean you're more likely to stick with it,
Yeah.
right? It might be easier to get that vigorous activity in through crawling compared to just, say, going for a regular hike that feels more like a chore, something to think about.